seventh graders, ready for another week of Read Aloud out of the crossover. Today we're going to be starting on page 106. Just a reminder that when we left off last time, it was a pretty interesting spot where their dad appeared to have some health issues when the boys were out playing basketball. And remember, JB sprays their dad with the hose, and that seems to kind of snap him out of it, and he's okay. So that's where we left off last week. And there was an interesting line that Josh left off with. He said, "Now I'm laughing too, but only on the outside." Okay. He probably just got something stuck in his throat, JB says, when I ask him if he thought dad was sick and shouldn't we tell mom what happened? So when the phone rings, it's ironic that after saying hello, he throws the phone to me because even though his lips are moving, JB is speechless. Like he's got something stuck in his throat. Ironic. Again, notice this is like that dictionary type definition. The word ironic means having a curious or humorous, unexpected sequence of events marked by coincidence. As in, the fact that Vondi hates astronomy and his mom works for NASA is ironic. As in, it's not ironic that Grandpa died in a hospital and Dad doesn't like doctors. As in, isn't it ironic that JB shows off with all his swagger? Isn't it ironic that show off JB with all his swagger is too shy to talk to Miss Sweet Tea, so he gives the phone to me. Okay, so we're starting in on a conversation. So because this is a book that is written in free verse, it's a type of poetry, you've probably already noticed, but authors have a little bit more freedom in how they write when they're writing with poetry. There's just fewer rules, if you will. And so one of the examples of that is when you have dialogue back and forth. So there's not quotation marks in this particular book to show us when people are talking. Sometimes that can be a little bit challenging to kind of understand who is talking and what they're meaning. But in this particular case, when there's a lot of back and forth, you'll notice that one speaker is in bold. When a new person is speaking, it's not in bold. So we're going to have to keep an eye on that. You'll want to follow along with me to try to help keep track of who the speaker is. Okay, this is Alexis. May I please speak to Jordan? Identical twins are no different from everyone else, except we look and sometimes sound exactly alike. Phone conversation. And notice it says, I sub for JB. So she thinks she's talking to JB, but it's really Josh. Was that your brother? Yep, that was Josh. I'm JB. I know who you are, silly. I called you. Right. You have any siblings, Alexis? 2 sisters. I'm the youngest. And the prettiest, I say. You haven't seen them. I don't need to. That's sweet. Sweet as pomegranate. Okay, that was random. That's me. Jordan, can I ask you something? Yep. Did you get my text? Yeah. So what's your answer? My answer? I don't know. Stop being silly, Jordan. I'm not. Then tell me your answer. Are y'all rich? I don't know. Didn't your dad play in the NBA? No, he played in Italy. But still, he made a lot of money, right? It's not like we're opulent. Who says opulent? I do. You never use big words like that at school. I have a reputation to uphold. Is he cool? Who? Your dad. Very. So when are you going to introduce me? Introduce you? To your parents. I'm waiting for the right moment. Which is when? So am I your girlfriend or not? Can you hold on for a second? Sure, she says. Cover the mouthpiece. JB mouths to me, I do. Then whisper to him, she wants to know, are you her boyfriend? And when are you going to introduce her to mom and dad? What should I tell her, JB? Tell her, yeah, I guess. I don't know. I gotta pee, JB says, running out of the room, leaving me still in his shoes. Okay, I'm back, Alexis. So what's the verdict, Jordan? Do you want to be my girlfriend? Are you asking me to be your girl? I think so. You think so? Well, I have to go now. Yes. Yes, what? I like you. A lot. I like you too, Precious. So now I'm Precious? Everyone calls you JB. Everyone calls you JB. Then I guess it's official. Text me later. Good night, Miss Sweet. What did you call me? Good night, my sweetness. Good night, Precious. JB comes running out of the bathroom. What'd she say, Josh? Come on, tell me. She said she likes me a lot, I tell him. You mean she likes me a lot? He asks. Yeah, that's what I meant. And this chapter is called JB and I. JB and I eat lunch together every day, taking bites of mom's tuna salad on wheat between arguments. Who's the better dunker, Blake or LeBron? Which is superior, Nike or Converse? Only today, I wait at our table in the back for 25 minutes, texting Vondi, who's homesick, eating a fruit cup alone, before I see JB strut into the cafeteria with Miss Sweet Tea, holding his precious hand. Boy walks into a room. Boy walks into a room with a girl. They come over. He says, "Hey, filthy McNasty," like he said forever, but it sounds different this time. And when he snickers, she does too, like it's some inside joke. And my nickname, some dirty punchline. At practice, coach says we need to work on our mental game. If we think we can beat Independence Junior High, the defending champions, the number one seed, the only other undefeated team, then we will. But instead of drills and sprints, we sit on our butts and make weird sounds. And meditate. Suddenly, I get this vision of JB in a hospital. I quickly open my eyes, turn around, and see him looking dead at me like he's just seen a ghost. Makes you wonder if JB also had a similar premonition. Again, think of examples here of foreshadowing, the author giving us clues of things that might happen later on in the story. Okay, this is called second person. After practice, you walk home alone. This feels strange to you because as long as you can remember, there has always been a second person. On today's long, hot mile, you bounce your basketball, but your mind is on something else. Not whether you will make the playoffs, not homework, not even what's for dinner. You wonder what JB and his pink Reeboks wearing girlfriend are doing. You do not want to go to the library, but you go because your report on The Giver is due tomorrow and JB has your copy. But he's with her, not here with you, which is unfair. And because he doesn't argue with you about who's the greatest, Michael Jordan or Bill Russell, like he used to, because JB will not eat lunch with you tomorrow or the next day or next week, because you are walking home by yourself and your brother owns the world. You can tell Josh is feeling a little bit left out here, right? Ironic that the next section is called Third Wheel. You walk into the library, glance over at the music section. You look through the magazines. You even sit at a desk and pretend to study. You ask the librarian where you can find The Giver. A really amazing book, by the way. If you've not read The Giver, it's a good one to add to your read list. She says something odd. "Did you find your friend?" Then she points upstairs. On the second floor, you pass by the computers. Kids checking their Facebook, more kids in line waiting to check their Facebook. In the biography section, you see an old man reading The Tipping Point. You walk down the last aisle, teen fiction, and come to the reason you're here. You remove the book from the shelf, and there, behind the last row of books, you find the friend the librarian was talking about. Only she's not your friend and she's kissing your brother. Tipping point. Another dictionary entry, if you will. Tipping point is the point when an object shifts from one position into a new, entirely different one. As in, my dad says the tipping point of our country's economy was housing gamblers and greedy bankers. As in, if we got one C on our report card, if we get one C on our report cards, I'm afraid mom will reach her tipping point and that will be the end of basketball. As in today at the library, I went upstairs, walked down an aisle, pulled the giver off the shelf, and found my tipping point. All right. And that seems like the perfect spot to stop. Thanks for joining me.